Doug Benson. When porcupines fly. When porcupines fly, Doug Benson. Our story begins in the wilds of Minnesota. Three intrepid pigs have just settled here after leaving the family farm in Iowa. They immediately went to work building their homes. The youngest pig was Wendy, and she found the perfect meadow where she could do her watercolors. And she built a magnificent house by weaving together grasses and wildflowers. And it looked like a cone. It actually looked kind of like an upside down tornado, and it came to a point at the top. The second pig was Woody, her older brother, and in fact it had been Woody's idea to move with his brother and sister to northern Minnesota. Woody had always dreamed of living in the North Woods, and he built a house out of logs that looked like a giant beaver lodge, and he sited it under an incredible canopy of white pine trees. The third pig, the oldest pig, was their brother Walter. Now Walter had been a builder in Iowa, and he built a classic builder's home. It had granite countertops and fancy appliances, and it even had a pool in the back. Now they were alerted when they came to this area that there was a sinister character named Wolfie. And Wolfie was dangerous, and the reason he was so dangerous was because he ate porcupines. And because he ate porcupines, he always had quills in his nose, in his face, in his chest, in his paws. Now one day, Wendy was painting in her meadow. She was painting the sunrise, and in the distance she saw a furry creature coming towards her, and she knew right away, oh I'm sorry, his name is Canis. Canis the Terrible. She knew right away it was Canis. And he shuffled up to her door and he said, "Little pig, let me in." And she said, "Go away, I know who you are. I won't let you in." And suddenly, she couldn't believe her eyes, went out from behind his back. He pulled out a leaf blower, and he blew her house into the stratosphere. She ran as fast as she could to her brother Woody's house. And she said, "Woody, Canis is after me, and he's got a leaf blower." And Woody said, "Don't worry, we'll be safe here," kind of chuckled. They watched Canis walk up to the door, and he said, "Pigs, let me in." And they said, "No, we won't. We know who you are. You're not coming in." And he pulled out a chainsaw from behind his back, and he chopped Woody's house into kindling. It was horrible. They ran as fast as they could to Walter's house. They said, "Walter, Canis is after us, and he's got a chainsaw." And Walter calmly said, "Follow me." And he led his brother and sister up onto the roof, where he had built a porcupine catapult, anticipating that this day might someday come. In the distance, they saw Canis coming towards him. This time he had a jackhammer. And Walter immediately fired the first porcupine. It was a direct hit, and it hit him in the chest. He buckled. He dropped the sledgehammer, and he turned and he started to work his way back towards the woods, but not before Walter hit him in the back with two more porcupines. When he got to the edge of the woods, he got tangled up in the understory, and he couldn't get away. Wendy said, "I can't stand to watch him suffer. I think we should go help him." So the three pigs went down, and they helped pull quills and porcupines off of him. Canis was so thankful, he promised he would never bother them again. Well, things really took off for the porcupines, or for the pigs after that. Wendy opened a gift shop on Scenic Highway 38 where she could sell her watercolors. Woody was hired by the DNR to run the local state park. His dream had come true of living in the North Woods. And Walter became a wildly successful home builder. Canis the Terrible went to work for Walter and became his right-hand man. It turned out there was no piece of power equipment he could not operate. And at the end of the hard day of construction work, Canis would go to the state park and he would entertain the tourists around the fires by telling them stories about the hazards of eating porcupine.